Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Hello out there in August land.
Yeah, it is August, isn't it? It was August last weekend, too.
It was. And talk about a weird week. Kind of cool.
Yeah,
But then the heat showed up.
we had some cool weather. Now the heat's up. Kids are coming out. They're getting back in the pool here in a few minutes. So,
But I did hear that they said it's going to be an early fall this year.
yeah,
That's what I heard. Now, what that totally means,
who knows?
your guess is as good as mine because no idea.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those things. It's like, okay, I wish to be a weatherman because
You wish to be a weatherman.
where else can you be 50% right and still be pat on the back?
Right. I won't say anything. I'll work with a couple of weather
I know
guys.
you do.
Actually, about 5 of them, so I don't want to make nobody mad.
Don't make anybody mad.
Right.
Have them just call me.
I've made enough people mad this week, so
Nah.
I don't need to make any more mad. All right.
All right, let me find a show to share here.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just plowing through here, waiting to see it pop up on the feed.
That's what I'm doing.
Hopefully, I'm just kind of looking here and seeing if anybody's in there yet. Oh, Ron Moses from West Virginia. He's hanging out over by Tim Sias.
Is he?
Well, he's on the road. That's what he says. He says, evening from West Virginia. Tyler, I can see early fall. Just was up in the UP and some trees were changing colors already.
Really?
You know, I said that to a guy today. I said, it ain't going to be long and we're going to start seeing the leaves change here. So,
Hey, you know what? Matter of fact, now that you mentioned, I have seen a couple of trees that, it's, and plus the forest is getting that yellow to it.
yeah, that little hue to it.
Yep, the instead of that lush green,
Yeah.
starting to just change over a little bit, and it's one of those things you just go, uh-oh.
Eric, hey, what's going on? All the way from central Minnesota. What's going on over there, Eric? Good to hear from you and see you tonight joining the show.
Absolutely. It's always good to have people on the show, trying to get the shares out here. Then we'll get right to our sponsors and supporters of the show. That way we'll get rocking on this Sunday night.
Well, if I can get my phone to call this up here.
Right? Mine's going slow too, so it must be a slow night on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me do this real quick. We get this out of the way. And we will get going. Put this on my news feed. And I'm ready to go.
Oh, look at that. Ha
Okay, just checking. Got
Two.
people piling in the cabin. Tom begins a long, hot summer. Yeah, it's kind of felt that way. For sure. Mr. Ginza, we're going to have to get you on the show here one night. Do a little talking. I won't give the story away, but it'd be nice to holler at you.
Right, get him on the show, the lottery winner, right?
Russell Tucker, hi from West Virginia. We got people calling in or they're looking in tonight from West Virginia. All right. Eric says, hot, looking forward to bow season in about a month. You got that right. Definitely. All right. A couple people more piling in here. It's good, good.
Absolutely.
You let me know when you're ready, Dan?
I'm ready.
All right. Let me pull this up here, and we will get going. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Journal Bear. Host Mike Adams sitting in a cabin on a hot August Sunday evening with Dan DeFall.
Hot, muggy night here in August. I tell you what, this morning I was out at about, it was 3
a.m.?
3 a.m. out on the front lawn.
Okay.
Because the dogs needed to go out.
Okay.
Not because I wanted to be, okay?
Okay.
Let's get that straight.
Okay.
But it was nice and cool. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great day. Wow. Humidity kind of kicked in when the sun came up.
Wrong. Yeah, right. Wrong on that because it got hot quick.
Yeah, it did. And I'm glad I shot my bow yesterday, so it was good. I've been shooting in the mornings because of the foliage that I have in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
At certain times, I can't see. It's a little dark into the woods, so I'm having troubles picking up the bag.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no. Just kind of.
That's a hot cup of coffee.
That is a hot, fresh cup of coffee. I just took a sip of mine and went, whoa,
Well, matter of fact, let's just get that one right out of the way right now. Let's tell everybody how they can save a little money on some good coffee.
Hey, yeah, right. That's right. Let's get to our. You want to start with the coffee?
That's right here. The UNJ promo
right.
code for
You know what?
Hunter's Blend Coffee.
Right there. That's right, folks. Helping us out, helping our supporters out, and if you want to help them, go over to huntersblendcoffee.com. There, if you use the promo code, which Mike's pointing at there, capital UNJ, you'll get 10% off your order when you check out at huntersblendcoffee.com.
A nice hot cup of coffee right there.
That's right. And you know what? With these hot days, even on cold days, any days you cook, there's nothing better than having Rebel 6 rubs. And if you want 20% off your order when you check out, use the promo code NorthJournal over at rebel6rubs.com, and you'll get 20% your order there. And Buck Baits, we're going to have them on the show here in a couple weeks towards the end of the month. There you can get 20% off your order over there using the promo code UpNorthJournal. Get over there, check them out at buckbaits.com, see what he's got in his lineup. He's got a few new items over there. Going to be great for hunting season to be used.
There you go.
There you go.
Help people who help us.
Big shout out to Jeffrey Brown. Great having you both at Sunrise a couple weeks ago. We'll be back. Don't worry. I got to take Kelly over there. Her peep is moving.
The peep is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, it kind of leads me into getting ready for the season and everything. I've been out shooting. I put, we switched over our bows. We went to the 3D shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't put a tape on my sight. I just kind of sighted in real quick and then went from there. But I was able to this weekend. The last couple of days I've been kind of going out there, taking my time. I haven't been rushing it, and I've got a number tape on my adjustable sight.
Okay, you're running that Black Mountain, right?
I am
From
running,
PLC?
yeah, the Black Mountain Carbon DR.
Okay.
It's a 4-pin sight, but it's a slider.
Okay, 1-pin slides?
No, the whole mechanism slides.
Oh.
But what I did this year is I'm going to take the bottom 3 pins, drop them, and go with 1 pin.
Okay.
And just use the slider with the numbers.
Gotcha. Okay.
That way I try not to confuse myself, because the more pins I get, I might confuse myself.
Right.
So
No, I hear you. Mine are all fixed. I'm still sticking with the Copper John 5-pin that I've used for the last couple of years, and it's worked good for me. I got it dialed in when we were over there shooting that day over at Lena Lakes, right after we got them set up over at Sunrise. That's the first time I've ever left the bow shop with a new rig, walked out, had to fletch arrows actually on the range before I actually started sighting it in, fletched 4 arrows, and then started shooting.
wasn't that fun? That was part of it.
Yeah, I guess. It was different. So.
A big shout out to Chris Kreiner, the Yote Slayer himself. All is well. Yeah, we're managing here at Up North Journal. I'll tell you what, Chris.
Yeah, we're managing.
I tell you what, that was fun though. Going right from the bow shop to a 3D shoot and watching you do your arrows right there.
Yeah.
On the bench. That's live. It's live action.
Live action.
And that's like, hey, that's what. One thing better would have been if you would have turned those arrows and then went out there.
Turned them. Yeah. Okay. Right.
All right. But anyways, we had fun. So I've been doing that this last couple of days, getting sighted in, making sure. It was really interesting, the different sight tapes that I had to choose from. Because I sighted it in at 20, 30, 40, 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I measured between the 20 and 50 to get my distance. And I went to the sight tapes, and there was some that was just so close. It's like, so which one do you use? And I went back and I shot, and I was like, all right.
So these tapes were already pre-made.
Yeah, these were all pre-made. It's almost like finding out your arrow speed.
Right.
And you didn't know which one it was till you shoot.
Right.
So that's what I did. So got my sight tape on. I'm ready to go, I think.
All right.
So I'm excited. Hopefully get up for Labor Day to the cabin, get some things set, pull the trail cameras, and go from there. Now, I'm excited in a way. Because I don't think we had a really rough winter.
No.
And I was hoping I could shoot a doe. Well, I happened to be in one of the counties that they selected. I shouldn't say counties.
One of the
DMUs that was selected because I had 100 consecutive days of snow that I'm not allowed to shoot does. And I'm like, what?
Right.
I'm like, wait a second. So 2 minutes ago, I was like, yeah, oh, great.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you can shoot does except for these certain DMUs, and I was one of them.
You're one of them.
So now I can't shoot does.
Hey, we just got done talking about Sunrise and getting ready for the season and everything, and Jeffrey Brown says that they're open 7 days now, 7 days a week, 9 to 7 Monday through Friday, and Saturdays 9 to 5 and 9 to 3 on Sundays. So the shops now are starting to ramp up and get ready for everybody for the fall season.
Absolutely, and don't wait, folks, because talking with Derek over at Sunrise and the guys, because of everything that's happened, it seems like everybody is in tune with getting in
Right.
early. It seems like they've been busy since the moment go that they were able to open. So
Don't wait till last minute.
don't wait till last minute. If you need a new string, if you need something, make sure you get over there so they can help you out.
Absolutely. We're about halfway through this first segment. I do want to mention, tonight we're just kind of rolling off the cuff. We had something scheduled, but something came up, and it was out of everybody's control. So Danny and I are just kind of rolling tonight. We figured we'd talk a little bit about getting ready for the season and of that nature. So if you guys got any questions you want to ask us, feel free to pop them in the chat.
Absolutely.
Roll them at us. We'll answer them on the fly. If you got anything that we're talking about, you just feel free to start throwing stuff at us if you want.
Absolutely. Throw it at us. We'll answer it to the best of our knowledge.
Chris Kreiner says he's been using a single pin adjustable sight for years. Very nice not to have so many pins in the way.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. I've used a single pin. I've used multi pins. It just so happens this sight came with multiple pins that I just this year I just said, you know what, I'm going to go with just the one and go with it. And that sight tape that I'm using goes out to 100 yards.
Yeah, right.
So,
right.
I'll be able to wing them.
Tim Sass from Lynn Walker Game Calls. Good evening, everyone, and Danny.
Well, I'm glad you singled me out, Tim.
Rocky Cummins has just joined us.
Terry, my brother, you're kidding. No does permitted.
Right.
Yeah, that's about as nice as you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Because I was, and he knows.
Yeah.
Because he was up there, and it's just like, they're everywhere. But anyways, whatever. It's one of those things that you just wish they would figure it out in this state. But
one day maybe they will.
But anyways, you're
We'll
right. So I got my bow sighted in. My next, I'm gonna take the crossbow and gonna sight that in now. With the scope that they gave us to sight that in, which is kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see how that all works out.
There's a process you have to go through.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's.
I was listening to that.
Yeah, that was it kind of intense there because I was kind of getting nervous because you got to set the scope to the speed of your arrow, so we had to find out the speed of the arrow. And actually, which I'm going to give a shout out to PSE. We use PSE, but what they said on the box and in the instructions,
right.
Was a 400 grain arrow, shooting 400 the speed.
400 feet per second?
Yes, thank you. We shot it through the chronograph, and it was 401.
Okay.
So it wasn't like 20, 30 off. It was. I took exactly the arrow they sent us. We put it through the chronograph, and it was 401.
So it's what it's reported at.
Exactly. I'm
nice.
like,
good
so
deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Kreiner says bear season opens in Michigan next month. Very lucky to have been drawn for the Baldwin unit. Fingers crossed. Well, yeah, good luck to you, man. Definitely get in touch with us too afterwards if we want to talk to you about your bear hunt.
Yeah, he's gonna. It should be coming up time to do some bear baiting because I think he made a trip out to the bear bait store.
Yeah, that was up there near Standish, right?
I think so. Yeah.
The bear bait store. Yeah.
Yep. And Tim's gonna use the crossbow this year as well. And it's just another tool in the tool shed to use. Whether you're opposed to them or you're not, I see it as another tool in the tool shed. Hey, get out there, knock it out. But so that's kind of my plan. Hopefully this week I'll be able to do that, and then I should be good to go for hunting season. And then hopefully, because of Woods and Water being closed, we're gonna try to get over to the Sunrise shoot over at Land O'Lakes that weekend.
That's right, because they've canceled Woods and Water.
Yep, they canceled Woods and Woods and Water, and
Terry's got a question, but I tell you what, Terry, hold that because we're going to talk about that next segment.
yeah, hold that thought. And
Eric Dabb says that it seems like the heavy arrow is the new craze. Are you beefing up your arrows or just shooting a stock arrow? Actually, this year I am shooting. Danny, you want to grab the box over there?
yes, hold on one second.
Watch some headsets you got on.
Yeah, I'll take them off this time.
Yeah, and Chris says, yeah, Standish, start baiting Thursday. Yep, we've been by that place many times and used some of their services. So it's a very good place to go and pick up bait, especially on the way up. Okay, is this the same thing you're using, Danny?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
We're using the same arrow this year.
Yeah, these are the Signature Line HD Hunter carbon shafts from Carbon Force. Actually, these are through PSE, Carbon Force series. And I forget, what grain are we using on these?
We're using 100 grain tips.
I mean, the shaft or the
I forget.
arrow weight.
I forget what they are.
It's just a standard arrow, really. I mean, it's not the heavy ones. But this is what we're using this year. And I fletched them up using a shield cut veins on them. So
yeah, we're not doing anything with the FOC front of center or anything like that. We're going to go with the stock arrow, cut down to length, probably 100 grain tip. He's using a different cut arrow fletch than I am.
yeah, shield cut.
But really, that's about it.
So 100 grain point on it.
Yep.
And I shot, like I said, I fletched 4 of these up. We come out of the shop that day from tuning, got to the range, fletched 4 up, got on the range, tuned and dialed in, shot 20, 30, 40, and 50. And I tell you what, out of the box, that bow is lights out. I've never shot a bow that's shot so good.
Stiff back wall, that's for sure.
Right. So it's very, very tunable, very easy to shoot, and had good groups. So that's what we're going to use this year.
Yeah, and you're right, Eric. There seems to be, it seems to run, I don't know if you want to say a secular thing that people tend to go, oh, you got to do this with your arrow, or you got to do that with your arrow. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm kind of like a stock kind of guy. I like to shoot what's given to me in stock wise. That way I can kind of prove out what they're saying or they're giving or anything like that.
We've never really jumped on too many different things on that. We've usually pretty much shot a stock arrow, whether we were shooting this year the PSE line, we've shot the Black Eagles. Those same thing, we shot pretty much stock. Same thing with Carbon Express.
Yeah.
We never got into the anything doing a lot of crazy stuff with them. I just keep things simple. If it's hitting and they're packing in there, I don't mess with it.
Right, exactly. So it's one of those things. You can go, and we talked to Bobby Vargas about that as well when we had him on last month, and we asked him the same question: are you doing anything? And he says nope, he's just going with the stock PSE, whichever one he was using. I don't know if he was using the HDs or not, but yeah, he wasn't doing anything because we had that same question about like the FOC or anything like that, and he says he really doesn't get into it. He just shoots them, gets them tuned like we did. We shot them through paper, and he goes from there.
Right.
So
Let 'em roll.
exactly. It's one of those things. You get out there, and it's almost like you don't want to change too much when you have something going good.
Well, and we just swapped to a new rig this year. And that's why I kept the same rest. I shot last year. I kept the same sight. I don't like changing things up too much. If things are working, stick with it. If it's something that needs to be tweaked, then I'll tweak it. But otherwise, I pretty much like to stick with what I know works.
Nope, exactly. And basically, you just got to know your equipment.
Right.
Like I got out there this week. I was shooting, and my arrows were flying like I wanted them to. They were, I didn't see anything that I would want to change.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm set my tape. I'm good to go. My last 3 arrows at 50 yards were in my bull. So I'm like, okay, we're good.
Right.
I'll be pushing them out now to 60 and 70 here just to monkey around with it, just to see if there's anything crazy. Yeah.
Well, like he said, good point. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, exactly. And you know what? And truthfully, Mike and I, we're not the like Mike said, we're not the type to kind of get into that realm like other people do.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, absolutely. If you want to go ahead and do it, I know some people. The first thing they do with their bow is basically almost strip it down and almost rebuild it to what they want. Which
Right.
is if it works for you, that's fine.
Right.
You know.
I'll tell you what, let's continue along that thought line. Let's take a quick break. We'll step outside, take our first break. When we come back, we'll continue along this same line. We'll be right back after this. All right, guys.
All right.
Good comments.
Yeah, great comments. Tim Cius, got a question for you. You still on? I got a question for you.
We'll find out if he
Yeah.
chimes in.
Tell me if you're still on. I got a question for you that you can hit me up because I got a story for you the last week. It's been fun. It started last Sunday, I think. I forgot to tell you about this. We didn't have time last week because we were interviewing. But yeah, it's kind of been a fun week.
It wasn't about my little visitor in the back pool, was it?
No. Mr. Peacock?
Yeah.
It was Mr. Peacock
Yeah.
with the candlestick in your backyard.
That's right. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. He's on. Second segment of the show. And we're just talking a little bit about, arrow builds and things of that nature. But you had a question or
I
something.
just got a quick question to him is typically how long will gobblers gobble for the year? Is it a thing that they can do all year round, or is it for only certain months? Answer that question, and then I'll get into that story later.
Okay. So getting back to talking about, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're going to step out and do a little longer shooting. Danny and I, if everything goes right, we're still planning on shooting tack in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks of tack. I guess it's a month. It's the 9th. It'll be about a month to sunrise.
Right.
So hopefully we'll get my brother out there, and like he says, just shoot the bow. My brother, we got him on the 28th. Mm-hmm. He bought a new set of arrows, and he really doesn't do the same thing either. I gave him some new stuff, so he's just got to adjust to that. But he's not into that. He's just shoot the bow type of guy. So
kind of what you've told me at leagues. Just shoot the bow.
Yes, that's a whole nother story. That's the mental side of the game. Which, you know what? I swear. Okay, cool. I want to say, if you guys have the opportunity to shoot indoor leagues, do it for the sole purpose of just
shooting your bow.
And I'll tell you why. Because I had to revert back to that this week. So I was like, okay, just shoot the bow, relax, let the bow explode. Because I was finally finding myself doing it again. It's like I was anticipating. It's like, stop that. So I know in the winter leagues, I focus really hard not to do that.
Right.
So again, I can't wait till winter leagues.
Shoot the bow.
Shoot the bow. But yeah,
right.
So you know what? I do want to get my mitt put on the bow. I got to put that on. I want to shoot it with the mitt on, and then from Better the Hunt, you'll see that. Hopefully, we'll do some videos with that as well. I can't wait. Actually, I can't wait to use that thing because I like a warm hand.
Right. Yeah, I won't be putting it on for tack. I can tell you that because it'll still be August.
No, I don't think we'll need it.
We won't need it then. Hopefully.
But then again, it is Boyne Mountain.
That's true. You never know what happens up in the upper regions of Michigan.
Exactly. So, with that's kind of my my bow, where I'm at with my bow, getting into the crossbow. We'll get there.
I got to start doing some shooting. That's one thing. I've been doing a lot of work here around the house the last week and a half or so. It's took up a lot of my time, so I've been slacking since I actually got my bow set up and went and shot over at Land O'Lakes. So, got to get ready for tack. Still debating on whether to take my target bow for that longer course, because there's some shots there that are 100 yards, maybe a little further.
That's why I put the sight tape on.
So yeah, I'm thinking, I think I'm going to take that and shoot that one day, and I'm going to take the hunting rig and shoot that on the other course. So
shoot the bow, be the bow.
Yeah,
that's right.
So and you know what? In shooting those longer distances, we're going to find out a lot more about grouping and how they fly at longer distances. I mean, I've shot this at 50 yards, I think, is the longest.
The longest one in the back was the 50th we shot at.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I stopped at. I got my range here at the house. I can shoot out to 90. You know, and I'll start stepping out. Hopefully, here in the next week or two, I'll start doing some more with this. It's just I got a lot of stuff I'm taking
Yep.
care of right now. So
Exactly. And you know, with that gets us into getting up north, getting, as my brother asked, what we can plant now. You should be out getting your winter plots in now.
yeah, well, your brother just asked, what can we plant
Yep.
right now? You should be getting ready for your winter plots. You know, getting brassicas in.
Brassicas in. Easiest thing you can do came on the advice from Wayne Sitton. The simplest thing you can do is throw and mow.
Throw and mow. Get some oats out there.
Get some oats and clover. Go ahead, seed it, and then mow it over. Let it all fall on top of it, and you're good to go.
Yep.
That's the basic simplest, which leads me to when I was up over Memorial Weekend, I was able to pull some soil samples. I pulled my first soil samples, it was in 17, so this is 3 years ago.
Oh, it's been that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got my soil samples, and that was the first year of our cut.
Okay.
I pulled soil samples.
After you've done your logging?
Yeah. I pulled soil samples, set them in, and came back with a 5.8 pH.
Okay, perfect is what, 6, 6.2-ish?
6.5 to 7.
6.5, 7. Okay, I was a little low on that.
Right. So from there, I did plant some stuff, and I put what they suggested out for fertilizers and everything. And that was the last time I actually did it.
Okay.
But I have planted, I've done the throw and mow the last couple of years. And then this Memorial Day, I pulled another soil sample. Figured it's time to see where I'm at. And actually, my soil samples have gone down from 5.8 to 5.4.
Okay, so you're losing nutrients.
I'm losing nutrients.
Okay.
But actually, I got some really good clover growth, and it's looking good. But I see the soil is going down.
What are you primarily planting in that?
So those I'm planting oats with clover.
Okay, so the clover's going to suck that nitrogen out.
Exactly.
It needs to be
so
replaced.
that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So probably next year, next spring, I'll go up, get some lime, get some fertilizer, what they suggest, get it into the fields.
Gotcha.
And go from there. Now, my cousin, he planted soybeans in July. They looked really good. So we'll have to see how those are coming out. But yeah, I got to get in, do some more work on the soil.
Okay.
I probably should get a good till over on that soil.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to go up there and break the ground till probably next year?
Yeah, probably springtime we'll get up there and we'll break it, and we've got the discer.
And get some fertilizer down, then cultipack it? And
Yep.
You going to plant a spring crop in there when you go back up or not?
I'll probably try to see if I can't get something down for the spring, to the when I go back. See, that's the iffy part about when I go back up. If I plant in July or I plant in September.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so right now is a good time to get out, get your food plots in. I know it's hot. Get out there. Make sure you do the last step. Packer Max is a great tool. It's light. It's simple. I use the Packer Max. Mike's used the Packer Max. That last step to get that germination contact for the seeds.
Absolutely.
You can't beat it, and it helps funnel water to them.
Right on.
So, yes, you're right, Eric. Lime definitely does help. If there's lime and any type of fertilizer helps.
Yeah.
But I know last year, maybe 2 years ago, might have been last year. Cut it in September, and it gave it about a month and a half of regrowth in that field, and the deer loved it. So,
Quick shout out, Ryan Burns is on with us tonight here locally. Hey Ryan, what's going on? Glad you tuned in. Mitch Diesel, hey, what's going on from Team Nexus? Glad you're tuned in tonight.
absolutely, welcome to the show, guys.
So, we're about halfway here. Hi everybody.
We're back.
We're back. Don't know what happened, but we got blown off the internet. So,
Right, exactly.
so we're here.
We're here. We're live.
We'll get this next segment started. So, if you missed part of that segment 2, you have to go back and watch the YouTube version, or go back and watch
Right,
or listen to it on the when I post it tonight, the live part or the podcast portion. So, let me get back and do a quick share on this part 2, and we will get rocking here. So, Sorry about that. I'll tell you, this new internet that we've got hooked up here at the house is not really done very well. Very, very disappointed in the way things are going with it so far. Seems like about
Part 2 is up.
every third week or so we have an issue, so I don't know.
Right?
It was there, then it wasn't, and then we rebooted, and then it's there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you got part 2 over there?
Part 2 is right there.
Okay, as soon as I share it here, we will get going. So, had a lot of good discussion, a lot of people in.
I know, right?
So we got 6 people back on, so that's a good thing. People coming back. 2 minutes ago, so that's got to be it. We'll share that real quick, and we'll get going. And
Tim Cius is back.
Tim is back. All right. Here we go.
Right?
And Brian Andre is watching with us as well. All right, here we go. Let's start segment 3. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Third segment of the show after a internet crash. So we'll pick it back up right here.
Exactly.
I don't even remember what you asked me before we went to the
Well,
break.
okay, so we were talking about at the end of the last time we were talking about what we're going to be using in the field, clothes wise, boot wise.
Right.
And my last question to you was, what do you use on your hands
When?
when you're out in the field? When you're bow hunting, do you use gloves? Do you use mittens? Do you use
Yeah,
socks? What do you put on your hands?
I put gloves on.
Do you put thick gloves on? Do you put thin
No,
gloves
it depends on what I'm doing. It depends on what time of year. If I'm bow hunting early season, I got a real thin pair of scent lock gloves. They give me a really good feel as far as my trigger that I use, the Stanislavski
Okay, yeah.
release aid that I use. I got really good feel with my fingertips on that, and it's got little tiny grippers as well. If I quit hitting the microphone here, so I can get a hold of it. It gives me good contact.
Okay, cool.
You know, if it's late season, I've got a pair of heavy scent lock gloves that I use in the winter when I'm rifle hunting.
Okay. I go with these really thin pair of cotton ones,
Okay.
but I have usually the release hand is in, if I have a pocket or a muff, I'll use that.
Sometimes I do that. Now, yeah, okay, back up just a little bit. It depends. I mean, there are times that I just use the one scent lock glove on, and I'll go with the other. Like in the winter, if I'm winter bow hunting, I don't use that heavy glove.
Right.
You know, I'll have that release aid in my hand in my pocket. You know.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, this year, where's the little? I don't have it laying here with me.
Should be
this
right there.
minute.
It's one of those.
No, these are Peeps.
Are they?
But yeah, I've got it here somewhere. I just got to find it. There's a little tab that clips on, and it'll,
Yes, I put mine on.
yeah, it'll stick onto the string, so you can actually take your thumb release or whatever you're using and click it onto your string, onto your D loop, and then snap it onto the string. Actually, it's right here. There it is, right here.
Matt Howard checking in from New Jersey.
Matt Howard, all the way over in New Jersey. What is going on?
Guess he's not in Ohio.
No, not anymore.
Eric Dabbs, is there any new must-have gadgets, tools, clothing for this upcoming season you guys will be trying? Actually,
This right here.
2 things. That from Total Peep.
It's hard to see here in the camera. It's a little rubber block, okay, and it's got a groove in it that would snap, like would fit to your string, okay.
So what you do is you hook it to your D loop, and you put that on the side of your release, and you just snap it to your string, and it holds it for you.
Yeah.
So it's all ready to go, and
It's hard to see right there. I wish I had a cutaway camera I could show us. We'll go into more depth in this when I actually put it on mine.
right. And hey, thanks, Matt Howard. He says we're both looking skinny.
I feel skinny.
Me too, which is good.
Yeah,
Better than a blob we were.
that's right. Yeah.
But and the other thing, we're going to be trying out. Obviously, we've had him on the show. Better the Hunt. We're trying out the bow muffs. I guess you want to call them muffs.
It's a wrap that goes around
Yeah.
the riser. It doesn't interfere with your drop away. It doesn't interfere with your stabilizer. It doesn't interfere with the shot. But basically, it encompasses your hand, and it fastens onto the riser. So when you put your hand in it, and you've got direct contact with that riser, and if you shoot with an open form, you know, when you're at full draw, if you got them fingers open, it still has room in there to maneuver around. So
That's right. So those are the two things we're using. Actually, three. We're also using the Total Peep itself.
yep,
A friend of ours, Pedro de Amparo, we've interviewed him on the show.
from Kuyu.
From Kuyu. He suggested we try these, so we're giving them a try.
Yep. And so far, I've got this on my hunting rig, and
I tell you
love
what,
it.
there is no, it definitely is not shiny or nothing like that looking through that peep. So that's kind of cool.
Yep, it cuts glare down. It allows you to focus better on your target and on your pen.
That's right. Matt Howard is on a job rebuilding America.
Well, that's good.
That's right.
I'm glad we're rebuilding America.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so those are the gadgets and things that were got up. I tell you what, the latest craze, it looks like, just coming out, just looking at things that sale papers and whatnot, is obviously the cellular cameras.
Yeah, yep, that's the big push right now with those. I've not played with them, but actually this week I started messing around with my cameras a little.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, it'd be, the way I'm using them right now, it'd be nice to have that to where it would ping to my phone.
Right, exactly. And so that's kind of the latest thing. But it's also leading to an interesting question. Actually, I've seen this on Facebook, is theft.
Right.
People is like, you know, how are people finding these things to steal them? Whether they're on private land. Obviously, if you want to take a chance and put it on public land, good luck.
Right.
But getting them stolen, you know, it's like, really, people, you got to go and steal cameras.
Right.
So
This common sense has gone out of this world. I think sometimes it's just crazy.
So, you asked me, but what? So I know what gloves you're using,
Right.
but what are you using for your clothing? And
Clothing?
boots?
Sticking with what I used last year with ScentLock. You know, I've got full season gear for the late season, and I've got my my midweight stuff that I use up until that point. Like, and if I'm going to hunt early season and it's really warm, I do have my Savannah series I just bought last year in Bottomland, which I really like. You know, and that's what I'm going to use. And you know, it's something that we've been talking about, especially with all of this COVID stuff that's going on. You know, and do not send me any emails or any letters or anything. Just hear me out on this. But you know, there's been a lot of talk about people masking up and doing this and doing that. You know, and I got to think, you know, how often do I sit in a tree stand? I've got a net gaiter that I would wear in the winter and mask up, my ScentLock net gaiter, or I've got some real light ones that I'll use in the early season. You know, us hunters are the first one to mask up and social distance. You know, sitting in tree stands. We've been doing it for years.
We've been doing it for a long time, whether it be in a tree stand or in a blind.
Yeah.
We've been socially distancing ourselves.
Yeah. So
absolutely, you know. So, but yeah. So
but yeah, that's what I'm rocking.
What kind of boots?
I've got some neoprene with Thin Slate Cabela brand. I had Lacrosse that I used for years. Actually, I just ran across them in the garage this last week. I was doing some cleaning in the garage, getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and I found an old pair that I had that they were actually, I know why they were out there now, because they were dry rotted.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're that old, you know, but they were good boots. You know, I'd like to get another pair, but back when we were doing some work with Cabela's, I got theirs,
Right.
and they're working for me just fine. I don't have any issues with them, so they're working. And
There you
until
go.
I wear them out, that's what I'll do. But otherwise, I got some lace-up boots, some Danners that I use.
Okay.
Occasionally, you know, especially in the early season, you know, when I don't have to worry too much about, if I'm not worried about scent control. It depends on what I'm doing and where I'm at. You know, if I'm hunting out of a box blind or a ground blind or in a tree stand, you know, if I'm out, you know, hoofing it and in tree stands and stuff, I usually go rubber boots. I try to do that most of the time, but
Okay.
every now and then I'll throw the Danners on.
Matt Howard, while in the Garden State, he has seen deer, turkey, bear, and eagles.
Nice. Sounds like he's in Michigan.
I thought you were supposed to be working, but I guess he's
He's looking for dinner.
right. Exactly. So, excellent. Yeah, the boots. It depends on what we're. Basically, if it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on what weather we're going to run into,
Right.
because depending on when I'm up there in October and in November, it's like
Right.
you just project yourself for all 4 seasons,
Absolutely.
and that can happen in one day.
Yeah, it can change quick.
Right. So yeah.
that's what we gotta do.
Nope. We should be geared up, ready to go for the season, and from there, I tell you what. I hope we're the last couple nights, you were out, I think last night, looking at the stars and stuff, and it just kind of reminded me of a fall night that you posted some pictures of just being outside looking at the stars. It's like, man, the moon and how bright it is. And
Well, we started actually, I had my grandson over last night to hang out with me, and, we started out back, and we saw deer in the backfield. So I'll come in here and grab the spotting scope, my Vortex, and it was already mounted on a tripod, so I took it out back, and we're watching deer in the field. And he's going to be 4 the end of the month, so I'm like, getting him up to hold him is where he can look through and see the deer.
right?
Well, and it's getting dusky dark, and all of a sudden, you start to see that first star of the night in the sky, and I'm like, well, that's Jupiter. And then the kids are like, how do you know? I said, because I've been watching it with my star guide for the last month and a half. I said that's the brightest star in the sky at that spot. I said, and it's transversing across. I said, that's Jupiter. I got my star guide out, and I pointed because it's got a thing on it. It orientates through my cell phone, and bang, there it is. I said, see? I said, and give it about 15, 20 minutes, and I said, and Saturn's going to be right behind it. About 15 minutes later, there's Saturn coming up behind it, and they're like, well, can we use a spot? Yeah, let's get the spotting scope out. So put it on Jupiter. My son found it, Jake. He goes, I can't believe this. And I go, what? He goes, I can see the color bands in Jupiter. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. He says, they're faint, but you can see them. I'm like, get out of the chair. Let me see, So I hop in the chair, and I'm looking. I'm like, I'd be John Brown. You can see. You could see the 2 big distinct bands in that planet, and it's a 60 power scope. So I'm looking at it, and I go, well, wait a minute. There's like three things around, around it, like in a ring. And he goes, yeah, there's like stars. I go, those are moons.
Those are the moons of Jupiter.
I'm like, man, you can see. I saw 3 moons, and then we can start seeing Saturn come out. I go, well, this is really going to blow your mind. I said, we're going to look at Saturn. I said, I'm going to show you the rings. He goes, no way. I said, yeah, because I've seen them before. And I moved the scope over, got it on it, and I start laughing, and I cranked in and zoomed all the way into it. And I go, come here and sit down. And when he sat down and looked at it, he went, oh my gosh. He said, that is so cool. So he's got his cell phone. He's trying to put his cell phone up to the lens, and try to take a picture. It didn't work, but yeah, he was. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. That reminded me of an October night out in the field, and exactly what Eric says. With all that's going on in the world, tree stand therapy is the best kind of social distancing at its finest.
It is. I was talking with a guy today about this. I was at my grandkid's birthday party. My little granddaughter turned 2 on Thursday, and my grandson turns 4 on the 30th of the month. So they had a joint birthday party for him. And I was talking with the neighbor, my daughter's neighbor across the street, and we talking a little bit about hunting. And I said, this time of the year, I said, it's just good to get in a stand and watch the sun come up or set during bow season. I said, there's just something about watching the world wake up and then go to sleep. It's very, very therapeutic, I said, it's different than rifle season. It's totally different. You got the fall change, you got that cool, crisp air.
It is. It totally is different. And speaking of different, the landfill brings many different animals, Matt Howard says. Oh, and the fishing is great as well. So,
okay.
Now we know what he's doing over there. But you're right. Whether it be even a September morning, if we're out there, the difference between September into October, into November, even into December, it is just spectacular to be out in nature.
Well, this week you mentioned at the very beginning of the show, part 1 before the internet crashed, about how cool it got this week. We had those mornings. Actually, a couple mornings. I think it hit like 50.
Yeah, it was in the
49.
50s. Yeah,
right there, back into the 40s. So this would have been yesterday and the day before in the evening. All of a sudden, flights of geese are coming in, and they're dumping in the pond in the back in the farmer's pond.
Oh, really?
We're watching. We're talking like 2 flocks of like 30-ish, 25 to 30.
Right.
I'm like, I said, I don't want to say the migration has started, but with this cold weather, I wonder if it kicked some of the northern birds in gear to get back, coming back.
If they got a northerly flow, I don't see why they wouldn't move a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
And that's another thing that's going to kick off here in just half a month is our hunting seasons, right?
Yeah.
We got bear seasons. We've got
early goose season starts
early goose
1st September.
We got deer hunting season starting in the southern states for velvet bucks. It's going to be awesome. It's kind of getting ready, and just being ready for that is fun.
I'll tell you what, let's take our last break. We'll save the rest of the time we got here
Yep.
for the end of the show, and we'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. So we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this.
All right, everybody, on part 2, got any questions, throw it at us. Got a little turkey story for you here at the end.
That's right, because you were asking Tim Sias
Yes.
about gobbling,
Yes.
if they gobble all year long, and he said yes.
Yes, they do. So,
All right.
that just confirmed my suspicions.
Okay. You have suspicions, huh?
I did.
You are a suspicious person.
I am.
Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show, part 2 for those of you who are watching.
Right.
For those of you on the podcast, we lost the internet here halfway through. So, going back to the beginning of the show, you said you had a story, something about turkeys.
Yeah.
You talked with Tim Sias about gobbling. So what's going on?
So, about a week ago, well, a little over a week ago, I had the windows open because it was cool. I didn't have the air running. All of a sudden, heard gobbling.
It's your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? So, the first time I was in a meeting, so I couldn't get there. Second time, my daughter yells to me, "Hey, they're in the back again gobbling."
In your backyard?
Yeah.
They're in your yard?
No, they're in the woods
Oh, in the
behind
woods.
my house.
Okay.
I'm like, that's it. So I ran and grabbed my call. I grabbed the box call. Ran back downstairs. I ran on the back porch and I hit it. And they fired right back at me. And I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
I'm like, and I'm standing on my back porch. I said, hold on. I got to change tactics now. Now we're going into hunting. So I ran in the house, but I left the door open, the screen door. And I called from inside. And sure enough, 4 of them came in within 35 yards.
No kidding.
And they were strutting and everything. And I was like, I put the binoculars on them and I went bang. So I got them. So then, Thursday, it happened again. Gobbling again. All right. Now I'm really going to mess with them. So I ran out, got the call, and I'm calling them. And they fired right back. I'm like, holy moly. And I'm trying to tell the dogs not to get their heads in the window. So I'm calling, and they're just firing right back. And I went on the back, snuck on the back porch, and they were within 15 yards of my backyard. And there was 4 of them, and 2 were Jakes, and 1 had a pretty decent beard on it. Mm-hmm. And it was just something that it was fun. So if you're not going to be hunting the birds, you might as well mess with them. Because the other part of that is I was over by an apartment complex last Saturday.
Okay.
Right in town, right over there by the store, Fiji's. And we're going to pull out onto the road, and I look, and there's 5 toms walking. And the first 3 were paintbrushes. They're dragging.
Right.
And Gabby was driving. I said, "Hey, pull over there." And she pulled over there, and I rolled down the window, and I just went, "Boo!" It was funny because the first 3, which probably were 3.5, 4-year-old birds, because they were the longest, they stopped dead in their tracks. The lead one picked up, started walking towards the car, just like, what's going on? The 2 younger ones kind of didn't know what was going on, but it was fun. And then messing with those was good.
That's,
and then
it's middle of summer. Wow.
yeah, and it was just one of those things. So that's my turkey encounter in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
That has been a riot. And my brother even asked me, and I told him, I said, you might as well just get a call, because he knows where some birds are at. Get a call, go over there and mess with them. You're not going to hunt them,
Right.
so you might as well mess with them. So.
Yeah, if you're not fall hunting.
Right, exactly. So, Matt Howard, we love some of that cooler weather out here, almost 80 at 7 a.m., topping out in the mid-90s during the day. It is August. What can we do?
Right.
Talk to us in 6 months when it's like 5 degrees out and you're wanting it to be 90 again.
Yeah, my dad says in the 90s down in Bama. He's been working on blinds, his deer blinds,
Woo, that's hot.
Yeah, he punctured a tire on his tractor, run over a stump that he didn't see, and he had a sharp part sticking up and blew a tire off his tractor. So, yeah, it seemed like every time he went out there, he's always tearing something up. So I was like, well, dude, you got to get some glasses or something. So
Right?
yeah,
Exactly.
it's been tough on him.
Telling your dad to get glasses?
Yeah, right.
Right?
So
that was my turkey encounter, and over by the same apartment complex, there was 5 deer. One was a decent rack buck in velvet, which was kind of nice to see. But again, all city deer that are just walking along the wood edge.
right.
And actually, one of the does was laying in the pines right by the house. So
I see. We're seeing our deer back here in the back, but I've really not paid a lot of attention to them until like yesterday when I got the spotting scope out. And they were all does, and they actually saw a fawn back there with them. But yeah, I really haven't. I've been really looking for any racked, animals yet. So
yeah, it's been fun around the house and stuff, but can't wait to get up north, check out the cameras, start to do some inventory, and get out and do some hunting.
right on. It won't be long, and it will be in the woods. So. Yeah, get out, get to your shops, get your local pro shops, get your gear ready to go, get out, start shooting, get on a 3D course, what have you. We're going to be out, hopefully, like I said, if everything goes okay here in the state of Michigan, we'll be at TAC here in 3 weeks.
TAC, and then in the month of September, Sunrise is having an event over at Land O'Lakes.
3D course.
3D course. It's for the whole weekend, I think, a Saturday, Sunday shoot. We're going to be out there one of those days because of Woods and Water closing. We'll let you know when. Come on out, join us. We'll have fun.
Yeah, maybe we
shoot.
can get a bunch of us together and kind of run a couple groups.
Absolutely.
In succession and go out there and have some fun. So.
And we can chastise each other.
That's right. So, see how that goes. But other than that, everything else has been kind of slow for me. I need to pick it up a little bit, but like I said, doing a lot of work here around the house, getting some stuff taken care of. So
absolutely,
hopefully things in that front will change here soon, where I can get out and do some things and start having more to talk about. But next week, Danny.
Next week is our So, we've been having Yamaha on. We've been interviewing these professional fishermen, whether they be walleye or bass. Next week, we're having, and excuse me for blowing up his last name, Randy Palinuk. He just won last week's tournament
In the Bassmaster Elite Series.
Bassmaster Elite Series. He's going to be on next week. He'll be on the show. And then the following week, they're going to be here over on the Lake St. Clair for Bassmaster Elite. So we're going to get him on a week early to talk about what he's going to do to prep for that. And from my understanding, he's going to be actually on the water pre-fishing, but I don't know where he's pre-fishing. So we'll see how that goes. A great interview. He
came out of nowhere on that last day. I mean, wasn't he running like 4th place?
Yeah, and he was just catching fish, and what's going on, I think, was his line.
Yeah.
What's going on, and he was catching fish. So he ended up winning it, and we'll have him on next week's show. It should be a great interview with a great guy.
As long as the internet plays nice.
Right. Brandon, thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Ken Cicluna.
So,
but other than that, that's been pretty much it. It's just a hot weekend here in Michigan once again. So hopefully, if who we were supposed to have on tonight, hopefully everything's okay.
yeah,
if you're watching.
Yep, everything's okay,
So-
and then we'll have him on at a future date.
Yeah. So we'll talk with him a little bit later and see if we can get him rescheduled. So see what happened there. But other than that, if I tell you what, let's go ahead and we'll wrap up the podcast portion. We'll hang out here on the live stream for just a minute, see if you guys got any questions. So for those of you on the podcast, remember, go over to our social media pages, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share if you like the show. Go over to iTunes, give us a review there as well if you would. It helps us out. And don't forget our supporters, Up North Journal, and the promo codes we talked about at the beginning. Go over and save yourself some money if you're buying some gear from them. That'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll be back again next week here on the Up North Journal podcast. And for those of you on the live stream, we're going to hang out for just a few minutes here.
Ken said he needed that one after switching leagues. So there you go.
Ken, we need to get you on and catch up with you as well. See what you've been doing this summer. It's been too long since we've had a good chit chat. So maybe we can start looking at that here in the near future. See what's going on with Mr. Ken Cicluna. So.
And how he's prepping for deer season too.
That's right.
'Cause he's got some hot spots that should be getting pretty hot.
There you go. So other than that.
Yeah. Other than that. We should be good.
Give it another couple minutes here just to make sure. Anything going on with you this week, Danny?
This week, nope. Like I said, I hope to get to the crossbow this week. Get that sighted in, and then go from there. And then, like you said, doing a lot of things around the house, and temperature is kind of too hot to work outside to do what I want to do. But
It's supposed to be hot again all week?
no, it's supposed to be hot for the next couple of days, and then
Go back
down.
where it was? Okay,
Yeah.
good deal.
Anytime, Matt Howard. You know us.
All right, guys and gals, we're going to go ahead and sign off. If we see anything else in the comments, we'll post
Yep.
an answer that way. But we're going to sign off, and as we just told everybody on the podcast, go over to our social media sites, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, and go over and check out our supporter pages as well. So that'll do it for us this week. If internet plays nice again next week, we'll have Mr. Palaniuk. Is that his name?
Brandon Palaniuk.
Palaniuk.
I hope.
And we'll have him on from Yamaha, one of the Yamaha pro fishermen, talking about the Bassmaster Elite Series. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. We see y'all again next week.